Hey, this is AstroDude8575. I just came back from my locals. I just topped with my Bubble Beat deck. I want to show it to you because there's a regionals down in Florida, and that's where I am. So, I guess I'll just name this the regionals build. I'm not going to originals, but whoever is, they can use this build, and let me know how it does if you do use it. It is Bubble Beat. It's heroes. It's awesome. And I 2-0'd Dark Worlds. Yes. Yes. Alright. So, here we go. We got 3 Bubbleman. It works a lot in this deck, especially because you only run 7 monsters. You can search it out with Stratos, do the OTK with Blade Armor Ninja, and yeah, just Blade Armor Ninja. Yeah, he's a good card, and if you just top deck E-Emergency Call, you can draw 2. So, good card. Next up, I got 3 Elemental Hero Neos. He's the Gemini Spark, level 4, you can exceed with Bubbleman, and Miracle Fusion for Shining. So, it's all good. Stratos. With Stratos being the last monster, because I only run 7, he searches out cards, and he can destroy spells and traps if you're in that situation, which is not very high. But if you are, he's there for it. You can search out Bubbleman, set whole hand, and exceed instantly. And he can also exceed with Neos Alius for Blade Armor, Utopia, or Utopia Ray. And, yeah, search for a hero, basically E-Call. 3 E-Call. It's for consistency. I mean, you really want to get your stuff out fast. By the way, that was 7 monsters. And, you can search out Bubbleman, do the draw 2, search for Alius, Gemini Spark with it, search for Alius, summon it, Miracle Fusion. All the cards in this deck are Miracle Fusionable, and they can all go into different things. So, main card. Next up, 3 Gemini Spark. I run 3, it's good. You tribute Alius, destroy 1 card, draw a card. It's amazing. It's really good because you can destroy back row, destroy everything they play, field spell, Gemini Spark. So yeah, or MST. It's a +1 because you're drawing 1, so it's good. Next up, I got 3 Miracle Fusion. Miracle Fusion is one of the main cards in the deck because this is a hero deck. And you really need it so you can get out your big cards like Elemental Hero Shining, Absolute Zero, and Great Tornado, if that ever comes up. So yeah, and it removes your cards from play, so it's good. Next up, I got 3 Pot of Duality. Pot of Duality increases consistency. You really want consistency with this deck. And you may just have an Alias, and you might need either MST or a Gemini Spark. So yeah, raise consistency, set up for next turn. It's simple. If you run Pot of Duality, you're better off. 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, because I don't like hitting Gemini Spark with a spell or trap unless it's a field spell. So these are there just in case Gemini Spark can't activate because I don't have an Alias. And you just wait for the good card, for the main cards that are bad against heroes. Skill Drain is a very popular card. If it's Dark Worlds, you use it against Gates and any other deck that uses field spells a lot. Any continuous traps or anything like that that'll hold you back. Decree, you might want to. You're gonna use this on Decree, and you use Gemini Spark on Decree if you really need it. 1 Book of Moon. I usually side this card out, but if you're playing against windups, it's really good because you can negate their effects because they're face down. It's really just for negating effects, honestly. Dark Hole, staple. Heavy Storm, staple. Monster Reborn. You can get off so many combos with Monster Reborn because you can normal summon Stratos, set all your hand, or first set all your hand, normal summon Stratos, add Bubbleman, special Blade Armor Ninja, detach Stratos, play Monster Reborn, special summon Stratos, get another Bubbleman, and then exceed into Blade Armor Ninja again so you can go for the OTK. That's really what you want to use it for. Or you can use it for Alius. I mean, this is a stable card, so you already should know what you should use this for. Rhoda, for more consistency. And that is 19 traps. Or spells. 19 spells. So, traps to Bottomless. With priority gone, I honestly think this card is better than Solemn Warning. Unless you're playing against windups. That's all I gotta say for that. You really want to get rid of, if you're playing a Dark World matchup, you really want to get rid of their Graphas. Save these for Grapha. Just saying. Compulse. Most people don't run this card. I do. Why? Because you're already setting back row when you're special summoning Bubbleman. And you can stop a summon and cause an OTK. It's really good. Because if they summon a monster, they set no field. You just do that, Stratos, Monster Reborn combo, and you win. So, Dimensional Prison. I can't stress how much you need this card because removal is so good this format. You really need this card. You save it for your Graphos in your Dark World matchup. You save it for the Red Eyes Darkness Metal for the Twilight Dragon matchup. You save it for any deck that really needs their graveyard to be alive. And really helps. Gets rid of boss monsters. So, yeah. 2 Hero Blasts. This card saves my life every single time. First of all, if you don't know what this card is, alright, here's the scenario. Alius is in your graveyard. It counts as a normal monster because it's a Gemini. You can play this card, destroy any card that's less than 19, then add Alius to your hand. Plus, you don't even have to destroy a card. You can just add Alius to your hand. So, it helps the consistency of the deck. So yeah. Plus you usually detach Alius with Blade Armor Ninja anyways. So then that's a good setup. So they summon a monster, you just chain Hero Blast. It's destroyed. They can't do anything because there's no priority. So it's good. 2 Starlight Road. Most people play 1. Here's why I play 2. You set so much back row, your opponent's so scared of the back row. They want to heavy storm it instantly. You have Starlight Road, because you're running 2. And you're running 3 Pot of Dualities, and you're searching out through your deck. So odds are that you're going to draw this card is very high. It's really good because you set cards anyways for Bubbleman, and you get a Stardust. It's great. And even if you use the 1 Stardust in the extra deck, which I only run 1, you can stop a Dark Hole, Mirror Force, Heavy Storm, or any other card that they haven't already used. So yeah. 2 Torrential Tribute. You really need Torrential Tribute because this card stops players that accidentally go over or overplay when they already have game. This can be your comeback card. So you run it and it's great. Also, it has good synergy because even if you do destroy your own monsters, odds are it's either going to be Alius, Bubbleman, or Stratos. That's all it's going to be. If you get rid of a fusion summon monster, it's probably going to be Shining. So, yeah. Miracle Fusion fodder card, amazing. And it sends Alius to the graveyard so it can set up for the Hero Blast combo. It's good. One Mirror Force because you really need it, and it's a staple. Over players, this card destroys you. Solemn Judgement because it's Solemn Judgement. I think every video I've seen explain a deck says that. I'm right. I'm going to go over the extra deck. Elemental Hero the Shining, 3. Because it's Elemental Hero the Shining. If you're running a hero build, you need to run 3 of these. 2 Elemental Hero Absolute Zero. You play this when you know that your opponent is going to try to destroy you after your turn. It's good against 6 Sams, any deck that special summons a lot more than it should, and then draws from it. So they destroy their field if they get rid of it. It's good. 2 Nova Master. You don't run any fires in this deck, but in your side you run 3 Super Poly. So you can abuse this a lot, and it's a very abusable card, and you really, if you can get it out, I say you do, because you destroy a card, you draw a card. You're already drawing from Gemini Spark, so if you get this card out, you're most likely going to win. And I run 2, so yeah. 1 Gaia, Super Poly, Great Tornado, because you have Stratos, and there is a possibility that you can get it out. 1 Stardust Dragon, you only need 1. 2 Blade Armor Ninja. All the cards in this deck are warrior. All monster cards in this deck are warriors, and they're level 4. So you just abuse that, and you can abuse it so much because you have Bubbleman, Alius, Stratos. They search each other. Stratos searches for one of them. You special summon Bubbleman. You got that instantly. 2 Utopias. 2 is important. You need to stop. If you're in a scenario, this is very scenario specific. If you're in a scenario, this card is a great card. In the scenario. And then you run 1 Utopia Ray. So when your Utopia runs out of overlay units, you can just play that, and it won't be destroyed by its own effect. So it's good. I'm going to go into the side deck now. Oh, by the way, I only run 14 traps. Side deck. 2 DD Crow. You need it against your Dark World matchup. You absolutely need it. It's not an option. You really need it. And Dark Worlds murder heroes. If you have to make sure they have a bad. You can't make sure they have a bad hand, but you really need to hope they have a bad hand. Otherwise, they're just gonna destroy you. Effect Veiler. This card has gone up because of the priority loss. Stops Rabbit. Stops windups. Stops everything that uses effects. Why do I side it? Because it's inconsistent in the deck. If you're playing against a deck that abuses effects, then side it. Don't main deck it. Alright, 2 Thunder King Rai-oh. You stop special summons, you stop decks that abuse the search. Dark Worlds. Mirror Match. It's good. Run it. And you can also use it for Miracle Fusion. Every monster in my side deck, except for DD Crow, can be abused with Miracle Fusion. I got 6 monsters in my side deck. 3 Super Poly. You're never gonna know how much you need. How much Super Poly you need. Most people just side 2. You can side 3, because you're not main decking it. If you're playing in a mirror match, side all 3. Go ahead, just do it. It'll work. Trust me. 2 Dimensional Fissure. This wrecks Dark Worlds. If you get it out, you're good. You're fantastic right now. It's very rhetorical, but it does ruin the synergy with Hero Blast. That's the only downside. And it doesn't let Shining get its effect. 1 Soul Release. I'd probably run 2. Because there are so many decks right now that abuse the graveyard. So you really need to remove their monsters. Soul Release. Good. This is probably going to go into a Soul Release. It's Prohibition. If you want to call something, and you know the deck you're playing against, then it'll stop it. It'll waste 1 MST. It's good. Finally, I got 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirror because I hate going against Darks. When Esquiarter comes out, I'm good. So that's my deck profile. Hope you do good at whatever you're doing, regionals, whatever. Yeah, I'll probably do duels with this, and I got another build coming up. It's going to be TGs from my friend, so look out for that. Rate, comment, subscribe, and there's probably going to be videos up on the screen right now of my past builds. One's a Bubble Beat, one's a Dark World, and that's my friend's. So, they're both really good. Use them, abuse them, and have a good day. See ya.